to prove it, I'm ready to do it, I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage now, I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. I'm ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real, I'm feeling so ruthless. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Yeah. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. Get in the game, your moment of fame, show them what you made of. It's time that we stand up, it's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. My time, nothing can keep me from reaching the top. This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to throw down, it's time for the showdown. I'm ready to rise, don't be surprised, I'll take on the world now. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up, I'll never go back down. Hand over my heart, I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
live from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway in virtual Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome, sim racing fans, to round number 1 of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series live on Racecraft TV. Happy that all of you are with us on this beautiful Friday evening as we kick off a brand new season of the NASRA Truck Series. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside with me in the commentary booth is Jordan Hicks. And Jordan, I don't think there's any better track to begin this schedule than Texas. This track is so fun in these NASCAR Truck Series trucks. We're going to see some exciting racing here tonight.
You know, definitely, and we're especially in the trucks, so I'm glad to be here. And Texas is just a big track, so it's going to be an interesting one here tonight.
1.44 miles in length, this track here in Fort Worth, Texas, and opened in 1996, one of the most anticipated track openings in all time of NASCAR, and this track has proved to be one of the most famous tracks in all of the sport. And taking a look at tonight's Racecraft TV race analysis, we'll go racing for 147 laps, have a stage break at lap 35, then another stage break at lap 70, and then we'll go racing for 77 laps to the end of this race. They can make it about 37 laps on fuel, so we'll see drivers make it through all the way through stage 1, all the way through to stage 2, with need to make at least one pit stop there in the final stage. They'll get 3 sets of tires that they can use on the pit lane, so they can't really use anything extra. They'll get the 1 set they start with and then 3 extra ones that they can switch on to on the pit lane, and then 75% fuel is going to lead to that 37 lap fuel window. We begin here tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway. We'll be at Michigan in 1 week's time, then Kentucky, the dirt track at Bristol. That's going to be an exciting one. Darlington, Gateway, Daytona Road Course, Pocono, Bristol, Vegas, Talladega, Martinsville, Phoenix, Chicagoland, Atlanta, Daytona, Kansas, Nashville Superspeedway, Richmond, and Charlotte, with the final 7 rounds of the championship being the playoff rounds, and then we'll crown our champion come the Charlotte Motor Speedway on December 10th. But tonight we begin here at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway for open qualifying. 5 minutes are left as these drivers will continue to work their way around the track here at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Currently fastest, it is that number 56 machine right there of Jason Higginbotham, veteran to this series and looking stout there in the number 56. He's looking for a great finish here tonight. Second fastest, George C. Williams in the 40. He's currently sitting there in the pit lane in the number 40 machine. Dana Shepard still waiting on putting down a lap time. They're working their way onto the track right now in the number 43. They'll get up to speed, making their way through turns 1 and 2. And there's the current best lap times we have, a 29.789 from Stephen Thomas now in the 23. He sets the new fastest lap on the racetrack. Great start to the Powerhouse Motorsports number 23's night. 4 minutes left here in open qualifying. Still a handful of drivers getting their laps in before we get started with tonight's race. And Jordan, this track providing a little bit of struggle as well. The first turns 1 and 2, very different from turns 3 and 4 in terms of width and banking. So these drivers need to make sure they know where they are on the racetrack at all times and make sure that they are knowing exactly where they're going into, because if they take turn 1 like turn 3, they're going to be in for a world of surprise.
And you know, definitely, you don't want to be that one racer on the track who gets used to that one turn and then you're clueless when you go into the other. So you kind of gotta get the mix of both worlds, and so you really gotta be open-minded with how each turn can throw you. And so it's gonna be interesting how these drivers get it done here tonight at Texas.
Taylor Peacock gonna bring his way into the pit lane. He'll abandon his lap. Blake Lothian in the 59 also going to abandon his lap. He goes down to the apron. Just about 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes just about remaining now here in qualifying, as a handful more drivers working their way onto the track, and a handful of drivers also working their way back down into the pit lane, abandoning a handful of laps out there on the track. Stephen Thomas going to go out for one more run. We'll see if he can improve on his 29.789. He'll join on the back straightaway. Ooh, a handful of drivers getting involved in an incident there, and he might have just barely missed the spinning 56. No, he did not. No, slam into the 11 on the back straightaway, and he is not going to be able to make one more lap here unless he very quickly gets turned around in the number 26 and gets back on the track. Dale Adamson looking to complete his lap here in the number 46. He's still in third now, 29.826 on his machine. And with still about a minute 45 left, just last handful of drivers getting those laps in, making sure that they are in a good spot to start the night. And obviously, Jordan, first night of the campaign, 20 rounds will go racing for this season in the NASRA Truck Series Championship. You want to get off to a good start, but it's also not a deal breaker because they do have a long schedule.
You know, definitely. So we're here at Texas. It's going to be an interesting one as we got a long way to go, Josh. And so we're going to get ready to kick things off soon, and the battle's going to start.
About a minute remaining here in open qualifying as drivers will finish out each of their times here. Dustin Scruggs coming onto the front straightaway. We'll see what he's got in the number 11. He sits in 8th currently at the moment. But a good fastest time for the number 23 of Stephen Thomas currently on the board. 29.789. A good time for the 23. Looks like he'll be able to hold on to it. Nobody else able to come anywhere close. Raul Meza is going to move up a spot, up into 14th. But still nobody able to catch Stephen Thomas at the top of the board. And time will run its way out, and that is going to be the end of our open qualifying here at the Texas Motor Speedway, and we'll get ready to go racing for round number 1 of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series here tonight. And we'll get a glimpse of who exactly is going to be the fast cars of the season. About 30 seconds for the remaining drivers to finish their laps out there on the track, and then we'll be off and away for the start of tonight's race. Expected to be an exciting opening round. We're glad all of you could join us tonight here at Racecraft TV and at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Looking for a good start to the season is Stephen Thomas, and with that qualifying on the pole, he is going to get exactly that, a great run for the number 23. We'll seat them on the pole for tonight. And there we go. Time to meet your starting grid for tonight's race here at the virtual Texas. And like we mentioned, on the pole, it is going to be the number 23 machine of Stephen Thomas. A great start to the season for them as they get a much needed pole out here on the track to get us started here in the NASRA Truck Series season. Second place, it'll be Blake Lothian. In the second row, it's going to be Dale Adamson, Jason Higginbotham, with George Williams and Adam Newbert rounding out your top 6. And Taylor Peacock and Dustin Scruggs will be on row 4. Chris Cinnamon and Mike Adamson round out your top 10. Robert Richards, Keith Bradley down there completing your top 12. Jesse Schrage, Raul Meza, Logan Quinn, Bill Lester, Jonathan Munda, Dana Shepard round out your top 18. And Joe Nelson, Dane Hagan, Cody Knott, Eric Zimmerman, Clint Mata. And in that 24th spot, it is going to be Bob Williams, with Brady LaBeouf, Joey Doucette, Brandon Bullock, Steve Williams, Mikey Williams, Curtis Heading, rounding out your 30 drivers that'll get ready to take the green flag here tonight, as the field will line up on the front straightaway. Jordan, who are you looking at as possible fast drivers here tonight?
You know, from that qualifying list, I want to say that the 23 of Stephen Thomas, he seems so fast and so consistent with this track. And like we were talking about, Josh, these corners are so different to each other. So it seems like he's got an open mind of this track, and I can see him coming out on top here tonight.
Like we mentioned, looking for a good start to the season tonight. And That is going to be huge if he can get a good start to the season, because that'll just catapult himself up towards the top of the points standings. And the field rolling now for the pace lap here tonight. Reminder, we'll have a stage break on lap 35 and another stage break on lap number 70 as the field will roll off behind the official iRacing pace car, get up onto the banking here at the Texas Motor Speedway, and get ready to go racing. No Limits Texas, and the racing has no limits here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Stephen Thomas in the 23 actually taking an EOL penalty. And it looks like he might have taken an EOL penalty, or it also looks like he might have actually disconnected from the server. The 56 was actually disconnected from the server as well. And it looks like it was maybe a miscalculation from your pole sitter. Either way, he is not on the track, and it doesn't look like he's going to be starting with us. They have extended it by 1 lap, so we'll be 1 to green this time by. But it'll be Blake Lothian now that it looks like he's going to be starting on the pole here. Or Dale Adamson in the 3. We'll see who's going to get control of the field here, but they'll come across the start-finish line here at Texas and take that 1 to go now. Lights will now go out on the iRacing pace car. We'll see who's going to be dominant tonight, as this is the first round of the season, the first round for everybody to really scope out the competition, Jordan. And with 30 cars in the field tonight, give or take a handful, looks like we have 27 that will be taking the green flag here tonight. It's going to be a bit intense because there's a lot of new faces in this series than there were last season that the viewers saw here on Racecraft TV. So opening round, it could mean a lot, especially for the winner of the race, who is going to get a catapult into the point standings.
And you know, definitely there's going to be those people who really want to win on those first few laps, so they really got to just stay really calm throughout this whole race, because Josh, we have a long way to go. So, and like you mentioned, there are new faces in here, so everyone's got to learn how each other races, and hopefully we can keep it green flag till the end here tonight. It'd be really great, but some things happen, but I'm excited to go green here soon.
We will see what will happen here tonight. We're glad all of you are tuned in and ready to go here on Racecraft TV for tonight's round number 1 of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. The field in the hands of Blake Lothian and Dale Adamson. Let's go racing. It's round 1. Great start to the race for Dale Adamson as he gets the early jump on the rest of the field here in the first round of action, and they race back down into turn number 1. Adamson with a comfortable lead over Lothian there in second place as the 59 now going to try and catch up. Down into turn number 3 and 4. Adamson taking a little bit of a higher line there. Rather interesting to see as they fight down now through the front straightaway. Lothian gonna look to the bottom, gonna look for the lead on the 46. Battle for the lead heats up in turn number 1.
You can see they're side by side right now as they're both running really well parts of the track right now, Josh. So I guess it's run until you find that perfect spot. But you can see the 11 car of, I'm pretty sure that's Dustin Scruggs. And so he's running right behind them as they're exiting turn 4.
Lothian will take that lead as Scruggs gonna try and fight from 3rd place. Down into turn number 1, still side by side, Adamson and Lothian. To the back straightaway once again. Everybody starting to single file and string out as they work through turns 3 and 4. Still side by side for the lead. The 46 rolling the bottom really well. Adamson trying to take that lead back, and he will, coming off of turn number 4, albeit by about a tire length, but it's not going to be enough. Lothian fighting back on the outside. On board Limitless Esports, number 46, Adale Adamson. Back to the corner. Lothian trying to roll that outside line. Just can't do it well enough. Working their way back through turns 1 and 2. Adamson now going to hold that lead and hopefully hold it for a little bit longer, as everybody's starting to stack up behind him. Taylor Peacock now joining that top 5 fight. Lothian back to the bottom, looking for the lead. Already ticking down those laps. We're on lap number 8 now of 147. Remember, that stage break going to come at lap 35. Scruggs now going to take over P2. What a move from the 11, working his way through turn 2. Now into turn number 3. He'll be looking for the lead on Lothian. Through turns 1 and 2. Back to turns 3 and 4. Lothian going to be able to hold that lead at least for a slight bit longer now. Scruggs going to try and fight from 2nd. And it looks like Scruggs going to try and look up to the outside. Not going to be there in time. To the inside of Scruggs is going to go Adamson, though. Battle for 2nd now going to go back. And Adamson not able to get there, so that will put the 11 back to 2nd. The 59 of Lothian will hold the lead. Back through 1 and 2. Scruggs going to still try and roll that bottom line to get up to the back bumper of the 59. Top 3 battle still going to be just about exactly the same as they were running. We'll see what's going on a little bit further back. Battle for 4th between Taylor Peacock and Keith Bradley. Peacock in the number 81, Bradley in the 18. Through turns 3 and 4, Peacock going to keep that 4th spot. And Bradley working his way, trying to get a little bit further up to that back bumper. As they work their way back off the corner. Bradley going to make a look to the inside, not going to be able to get there in time. Back off the corner. One other driver joining this now. Adam Newbert in the 6. He joins now. He will join the fray now. As he tries to get up to that back bumper of the 18 now of Keith Bradley. And this will turn into a battle for 5th as Bradley in front of Newbert. Can Newbert work his way to the bottom in the 6? Robert Richards also now going to try and join this fight. As Peacock continues to hold that spot. Bradley in 4th now. Peacock in 5th. And look at this battle now shaping up as the 48 going to go to the inside of Newbert in the 6. Through turns 1 and 2. Not able to get close enough to make that move happen as the 48, but he will go door to door at the 6 now. As we go Racecraft TV side by side with the battle for the 10th spot a little bit further back. You're taking a look, left box, battle for the 6th spot currently, and you'll be taking a look at the battle for the 10th spot on the right side. Jordan, everybody's starting to get into battle here as we're about halfway through this stage. Drivers going to need to start to be thinking about where they want to finish at the end of this stage. They will earn stage points.
You know, definitely that's key when it comes to stage racing, and so these drivers really need to think where they really want to place. Do they feel comfortable where they are? Do they want more? So it's all really what your strategy is at the end of this stage. So I'm interested to see how people want to do it and see how many points people get.
Take a look at the battle for 6, and right on by goes Robert Richards in the 48. Gonna go just about even as they work their way back onto the back straightaway. And Richards is gonna take over that 6th spot for good now. Great move for Richards in the number 48 to move up to 6th. Battle for the lead has fizzled out just about. Blake Lothian starting to pull away from Dustin Scruggs in the 11. Not by too much, to be fair, but it is still a decent gap in between those two. As the battle for 9th really starting to heat up back here as we go to the inside. It's the number 93 of Raul Meza battling for 8th. Outside, George Williams in the 40. The 51, Michael Adamson also in this fray. He'll now go to the inside of George Williams. To the 51, power his way around. That is exactly what he is going to do. To the 51 of Adamson, now up into the 8th spot. George Williams falls to 10th. Back through turn number 1. The 93 going to hold on to that 8th spot now. As a battle for 2nd, or battle for the lead, I should say. Scruggs sitting there in 2nd, and Scruggs, one of the series veterans. Rhett Tucker Racing for the number 11, and that Rhett Tucker Racing operation always very, very fast. And they're looking to keep that up here. Scruggs makes his way through turns 1 and 2, trying to close back in on the 59 of Blake Lothian at the front of the field. The Lothian leads across the line to go into lap number 23. It'll be 13 to go here in stage number 1. as the drivers continue to fight out here on the racetrack. Jordan, everybody's starting to spread their way out, but we still do have a bit of battles going on, mainly in this midfield as Richards goes to the inside of Peacock. Tires starting to wear. This is going to affect these battles.
You know, definitely, as soon as you get some tire wear on these trucks, especially, you sort of got to really play safe, and because these things can turn really quickly, but you can sort of save them in a sense sometimes, depending on how bad the car is in that loose position, I would say. And so, like you said, the tire wear is going to get to these drivers, so they got to last out for the next, I think, 15 or 10 laps, and hopefully they can make it to that stage end and get some fresh new tires on there.
Stage break coming, lap number 35. That is the magic lap number that all you viewers should be watching out for. As back onto the front straightaway they go. Richards sitting there now in 5th. A great start to the number 48 season, up 5 spots from where they originally started the day. They work their way back down the back straightaway. A little bit of a battle going on further back in the field. And we go way back. Battle for 17th. Joey Doucette, Brandon Bullock in the 17. On board of the 17 now. Working their way back through turns 1 and 2. Still Blake Lothian out at the front of this field in the number 59. Now inside 10 to go in this stage. 9 to go to be exact before this stage concludes. Lothian looking to walk away with a great stage win. To start the season, it'll be a good start for the number 59, not only of this race, but like we were mentioning, to this season of racing here in the NASRA Truck Series. Battle further back, the number 3 of Chris Cinnamon trying to get by the number 40 of George Williams. And to the back straightaway they go. They'll continue to battle further back. Blake Lothian still out in front in the number 59. Closing in on the end of this stage. 30.085 for Lothian in the number 59 last time by as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. Battle for the lead. Not changing too much. About 1 second now separating first and second, but it's another 4 seconds back to third place Keith Bradley, who's side by side with Dale Adamson. Adamson now on the top side, looking to roll his way around. Ooh, not going to be able to close in too much. Bradley will stay on the bottom of the racetrack, but the caution comes out on lap 30. This is before the stage break. Must have been an incident somewhere on this racetrack. Not sure exactly where. It looks like the 82, Clint Mata involved, or the 7, I should say. See if we can get an accurate look at this replay. Trying to find what this replay would be. It looks like a driver actually stopped on the track to bring out this yellow flag. They stopped on the track on the back straightaway, which then called the yellow flag. So that puts us under the first caution of the night. We'll grab a short break here on Racecraft TV to also fix a couple of technical difficulties, as you can see by the blinking iRacing pace car and blinking 11 at Dustin Scruggs. But we'll be right back with more action for the NASRA Truck Series live on Racecraft TV.
Put me on the stage now. I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. I'm ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real. I'm feeling so ruthless. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my. Yeah. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. Get in the game, your moment of fame. Show them what you made of. It's time that we stand up. It's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. My time. Nothing can keep me from reaching the top. This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to throw down. It's time for the showdown. I'm ready to rise, don't be surprised, I'll take on the world now. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top.
Welcome back live to the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Ready to go back to racing to finish out stage number 1. Quick 2-lap shootout as they go back green.
You see a great restart for the 59 of Blake Lothian heading into 1 and 2, followed by the 81 of Taylor. I completely read that wrong. Dustin Scruggs in the 11.
Yeah, the 11 is going to try and get that stage win, but Lothian still doing an amazing job to hold that lead here on lap number 34, and we continue to work our way to the end of this race, and across the line they go. It'll be white flag lap here in stage number 1. 1 to go in the stage as called out by race control. Lothian leads. Scruggs right on his back bumper, and Scruggs is going to get turned. Around goes Scruggs in the middle of the field, and the caution flag flies. Multiple cars involved. The 51, the 40, all with damage. A huge wreck out of turn number 3, or out of turn number 2. And that is going to bring out the yellow flag right at the end of the stage. But that is not what these drivers wanted. Taking a look at the Racecraft TV replay. Williams involved in this one. Got moved up the track by the 23, but you can see the 11 of Dustin Scruggs way up out of control. And you can see he dived to the bottom, Jordan. It just looked like he got a little bit loose, and then the contact with Keith Bradley definitely didn't help.
And, you know, definitely we're running low on tires, on traction on the tires, and so that's definitely the thing that may have caused that too as well. So luckily a stage break coming up soon so they can get some fresh tires on there, but we just were under caution, so maybe he got some fresh tires and maybe they weren't warmed up correctly. I'm a little confused on that.
Looks like he did take fresh tires. I believe he's in for his second stop now. Everybody else really in the field taking fresh tires, so we're not going to see a lot of takers down pit lane right now. But we'll have to see exactly what happens towards the end of this race, or towards the end of this stage, as we are under the stage break now. Winner of the stage was the 59 of Blake Lothian. So congratulations to him to take home the first stage win of the season. He'll try and keep up this momentum now, because it is going to be momentum that he will have, Jordan. A great start to the season. Nothing could really beat a stage win. Obviously a race win could beat it, but we're not exactly there just yet.
You know, definitely it's the first stage out of this whole race, so he's got a long way to go, but like you said, a great start for the 59 of Blake Lothian.
and we will see what is going to go down here on this restart. Expected to be a bit of a hectic restart, Jordan, because there's a lot of drivers now that are on fresh tires. That is, honestly, they're just going to get even more, I don't want to say hectic, but they're going to be looking for positions on this start, because now, like I mentioned, they have those fresh tires, majority of the field, and that last start was a bit hectic with their fresh tires, and majority of this field still on fresh tires as the lights go out in the pace car.
And you got to think about the people who got spun in that wreck, so there's going to be some furious people in the back that are trying to make up some positions, so hopefully they keep it nice and clean, but maybe some aggressive racing coming up, who knows.
So it'll be Lothian ahead of Bradley, Richards, Meza, and Peacock, your top five. Or sorry, actually, your top five. Rounding out will be... No, it will be Taylor Peacock. Stephen Thompson, the 23, will be starting to the outside of that third row as they work their way off of turn number 2 behind the iRacing.com pace car. And get ready to go back to racing. There is not 8 cars in this field, or 10 cars, I should say. Having a bit of iRacing issues tonight, specifically on the CPU side, so messing around with settings, making sure that we are good to go tonight. We'll get the remaining cars now back onto the track. There they go. So making sure we can bring you the best possible broadcast for you here on Racecraft TV. That is all we are trying to do, and we hope to have the overlay back up here in just a moment as well. But pace car down and away. Blake Lothian will lead the field to green. Stage number 2 is now off and away from Virtual Texas. Great start for Lothian once again. Side by side, Bradley Richards. It's Richards down to the bottom of Keith Bradley. He's going to take that spot as they work their way through 2. Peacock now going to go to the inside of Bradley. Jordan, doesn't look like that outside line is coming in very well. The 18 falling like a lead balloon on the outside.
If I was him, I'd definitely try and fit to the bottom because, like you said, it seems like it's not really working out the way he wants to tonight. But maybe that top line here at Texas can get better throughout the night. But right now is just not it, as he seems to be getting a run right now. So it seems a little quick on the exits of the turn. But like we were talking about earlier, these turns are so different from each other. So 1 and 2 are different than 3 and 4. And you can see he's got a run. So I don't know if it's just previous laps he's been taking, but I'm really confused because one time it was slower and then now it's faster, and he's already trying to make moves to going up to second place.
They work their way now back off of the corner and trying to keep that lead now as they work their way through the corner. Lothian up in front, having a bit of a battle with Robert Richards as they work their way off of the corner. Back into turn number 1. Richards going to go to the inside. Going to try and take that lead away for the moment, but off the corner. Is he going to be able to do it? Not quite, as they work their way back down the back straightaway. Into the corner. Back into the corner, I should say they go. It'll be Richards taking the lead. Lothian now going to be in the same spot that it looked like just a couple of moments ago that Keith Bradley was in the number 18, falling on the top side of the racetrack. They work their way back off of the corner and just looking for more is that number 18. On the outside, Keith Bradley going to try and go for the lead. It looks like Jordan, that 18, able to really use that outside line right now.
And that's what I was just thinking about. Before we were talking about that outside line not being it, but now he's just cruising on by everybody, Josh. Maybe this is the time that the track just all of a sudden changed, but he's got a run right now, and he's starting to run away with that lead.
How long is he going to be able to run away with the lead is the question. Back off the corner they go. Back into the corner they go. They'll work their way to the back straightaway. Bradley going to hold that lead. Richards not able to get there just in time. But they work their way back into turn number 3 and 4. Bradley going to be your new leader. And how long can he hold it? Cross the line once again. They'll go on to lap number 46 now. Stage break coming at lap number 70. So we are reaching the point of the stage break. How quickly will that stage break be upon us? Back through turns number 1 and 2. We do apologize. We are still trying to get all of our issues that we have been having so far here tonight resolved. And then we hope to bring you back the high quality Racecraft TV broadcasting that all of you know and tune in for. But currently out in front, it is still Robert Richards and, Keith Bradley, and Robert Richards and Stephen Thomas will go side by side into turn number 1. To the back straightaway, Thomas and Richards still side by side. Thomas going to be able to barely edge him out heading into the corner, but not for long. Back to the inside goes Thomas. And Thomas, with a great head of steam, is going to grab that spot once again. And once again, how long is he going to be able to hold that spot as he works his way through the corner? To turn number 3. Diving down to the inside is Stephen Thomas in the 23 for the lead, and he'll easily take it. What a move for the 23 to reach up to the front.
And Josh, if I'm correct, didn't he get an EOL at the start of this race and completely had to go to the back?
I believe he didn't even start on the green flag. So yes, this is a huge drive for the 23 of Stephen Thomas. Really goes to show how quick that 23 is as well.
You know, definitely, and he's making up some ground. He's putting a gap between him and the 18, so what a comeback for the 23 as he's diving into 3 and 4.
Another dive into 3 and 4 is the 23 just trying to keep that lead now. And we go a bit further back to the battle for second place is Richards is trying to go to the inside of Bradley. And Bradley running the outside. Oh, diving down to the inside. Blake Lothian wants to get that lead back. That's the 59 on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by Keith Bradley. It'll be side by side a little bit further back as well. Here comes the 93 of Raul Meza to join the fight. Bradley able to hold on to second place, but here comes Lothian going back to the inside. Can Lothian hold it on the bottom? He's very well going to try, but it's not going to be enough as they roar back off of the corner. We are working now lap number 53. 18 to go here in stage number 2. And back through turns 3 and 4 they go. Raul Meza all over the back bumper at Keith Bradley. This is the battle for third on the racetrack. Meza now going to look to the bottom. So Keith Bradley still going to keep on to third place. Robert Richards now going to be all over Taylor Peacock, as Peacock trying to work his way back up through the field. Meza and Cinnamon behind them. As they roar back into the corner, it will be 15 to go here in stage number 1. Stephen Thomas leads the way in the number 23. And it'll be Blake Lothian in the number 59, sitting in second place right now as we continue to work our way through this race and also work our way through some technical difficulties. Once again, we do apologize for it tonight here on Racecraft TV. First time dealing with these issues means first time having to find solutions. It looks like we might have found a solution to the car blinking issue that we had a little bit earlier on. Just waiting to see if it'll be a solution that we can use here. And it looks like it is going to be. So looking to get right back to the overlay and everything that is usual here on Racecraft commentary and production here. Once again, we do apologize for it here on Racecraft TV. This is not the usual way that we put on our races, but sometimes these technical issues do end up happening, and unfortunately, we do end up having to deal with them. So, with that, I believe we are all good to go now. We'll see if we can get the overlay back up on all of your screens, and it doesn't look like the overlay wants to exactly do what it wants, but we'll see if we can get that fixed as well. Working through issues tonight here on Racecraft TV, but once again, we're glad all of you could join us tonight as we do try and get all of these issues resolved, and we're glad all of you chose to spend your Friday night here with us. NASRA Truck Series brand's new season here in the tail end of 2021, and looking for a good season. Back off of turn number 4, Blake Lothian closing in on the 23 of Stephen Thomas as Lothian sits in second, Thomas in first.
And you know, Josh, it seems like the 23 has got a pretty comfortable lead right now, but you can't count out the 59 because he won our previous stage, and it looks like he's trying to come back for more and take home this final stage, because I believe we have 9 to go until the next stage break.
So coming through the line, it will be 9 to go until the stage breaks. Thomas leads ahead of Lothian. Once they come across the line, they'll be roughly about halfway done. 147 laps on the docket here tonight. They'll be nearing halfway done. Lothian closing the gap. 2/10 now as they roar down the back straightaway. Stephen Thomas still leads the way. 8 to go in the stage. Lothian still sitting 2/10 back. This is the battle for the lead as they work the back straightaway. Through turns 3 and 4. Thomas able to roll that bottom. Looks like a little bit better than Lothian, but he's not going away. 7 to go in the stage. This time by.
All the 23's got to do is keep it nice and clean, and he can come on top for the stage win. But Josh, we've been watching this 59 car of Blake Lothian this whole night, and he seems so dominant. As these two, I'm pretty sure, are the ones to watch here tonight.
To the bottom goes Lothian. He's going to get there in time. So rolling that bottom line, it's Blake Lothian in the 59. Not able to get there in time to make a move for that race lead. Can Lothian get there here in the next handful of laps? As we work now, lap number 65. It'll be 5 to go in the stage this time by.
And Josh, the 59, took over the lead from the 23. So now all Blake Lothian's got to do is hold it from Stephen Thomas in the 23 for the next 4 laps, I'm pretty sure. And he can come out on top with the second stage win of the night.
So the 59 now leads. Lap number 66, a 147, 5 to go in the stage. We'll have the 4 to go signal this time by. As your leader will remain Blake Lothian. Stephen Thomas in second, down into turn number 1. Can Lothian keep this spot? There's a lapped machine there coming up on Jordan. This is going to influence this battle.
You know, definitely it can make or break it. And so I'm curious to see how these drivers are going to make it around. And so you can see all 3 of them are running that inside line. So someone's going to have to change up something. And, you know, you never know what could happen.
3 to go. To the back straightaway once again. And it's very close in between these two. Thomas still trying to close that gap in. Lothian able to really well hold that lead. It'll be 2 to go this time. The lapped car moves out of the way. Thomas still on the back bumper of Lothian. Through turns 1 and 2. Lothian now going to put a gap on that number 23 on the exit of the corner. And a huge gap at that. Lothian with a 4/10 lead now. It'll be white flag this time by final lap of stage number 1. Who is going to take the win here in the first stage? It is Lothian out in front. Stephen Thomas in second. Onto the back straightaway they go. Lothian gonna cover that spot off incredibly. Through 3 and 4, Thomas not gonna have anything for him. Off the corner once again. Checkered flag in the air for stage number 2. And it's Blake Lothian that is gonna grab the win. And the caution flag will fly. The 59 of Lothian takes the win. We'll once again take a bit of an extended break here on Racecraft TV. Make sure that we have everything that should be working, is working. And then we'll be right back with you for more exciting action here from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. We're glad you can tune in to tonight's broadcast here on Racecraft TV. And do not go anywhere, because when we return, it'll be more green flag action here from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah. I'm ready to play now. Put me in the game now. I came here to prove it. I'm ready to do it. I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage now. I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. I'm ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real. I'm feeling so ruthless. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Yeah. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. Get in the game, your moment of fame. Show them what you made of. It's time that we stand up. It's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. My time, nothing can keep me from reaching the top. This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to throw down, it's time for the showdown. I'm ready to rise, don't be surprised, I'll take on the world now. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up, I'll never go back down. Hand over my heart, I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Welcome back to the virtual Texas Motor Speedway as we work lap number 74 under the stage number 2 break. Joshua Lee, Jordan Hicks back with you here in the booth, and Blake Lothian having a stellar night so far. 2 for 2 when it comes to stage wins, trying to make that even more and by adding a race win to that total as well. We'll see if he can do that here tonight. But if anybody can really, there's a handful of drivers, honestly, Jordan, that can really show it to him. It's not really a 2 or 3 horse fight. It seems to be about a 5 horse fight, as Taylor Peacock has been up at the front. Chris Cinnamon has driven himself up here. Joey Doucette in the number 16, currently up 18 spots. 19 spots from where he originally started the night. He is climbing up through the field as well. There's a lot of drivers that can kind of take that lead away from Lothian. It just seems like that 59 is the best long run speed.
You know, and anything could happen within this final stage, and so this is where it all comes down to. It's going to be very interesting. These drivers are racing really, really hard, and you can tell because we're having some nice battles throughout these past 2 stages that they're going by so quick. So I'm interested to finish off this race, and hopefully we can finish off strong.
We'll see who is going to finish off strong and take this race win as the lights go out on the iRacing pace car, and we'll be heading back to racing this time by. Lothian leads ahead of Richards, and we'll be going back to racing this time by. Lothian with a good night so far, looking to capitalize with a race win. Robert Richards with another great night as well. He's looking to steal one for Mission 1 Esports and grab this win. And the field will work their way down the back straightaway, ready to go back to racing. We've had some technical difficulties here tonight on Racecraft TV. Hopefully we've gotten them all figured out and we can bring you this last stage to its fullest extent. And we're glad that all of you have chosen to stick it out through the technical issues tonight. We're glad we have all of you tuning in tonight here on Racecraft TV. For this restart, we're going to let you experience the sights and sounds of the NASCAR trucks at the Texas Motor Speedway. This is Racecraft TV, Sounds of Speed. great sights and sounds here for the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. So we continue on with the season opener, the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. First round for the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Keith Bradley all over the back bumper of Adam Newbert as they work their way into turn number 3. Bradley, the 18, making a look to the outside. Ooh, he's going to tap off the wall a little bit as well, make a cut down to the inside. He wants that spot away from the 6, but not going to give it up that easy. He'll dive back to the inside. And he'll take the spot there for the moment. He will take the spot. Clear up in front of the number 6, down the back straightaway. Oh, and around goes the 6. Newbert gets a tap. He moves up the track, and the caution comes out. We'll see what happened here for the 6. That was a bit of an unexpected incident. I wonder if it was contact. It looked like it was heading through turn number 3. Keith Bradley was able to clear him. Here's the 6 down into the corner. Where was the contact made? The 16 makes contact. And that was enough to bring the yellow flag out. So we're under caution now for the 4th time total tonight. We had one caution right before the end of stage number 1, then of course the stage 1 break, then the stage 2 break, and now we're back under the yellow flag here at the start of stage number 3. So that means we're under the caution flag for the 4th time tonight. And Jordan, during this stage here, drivers will need to make a pit stop. Just depends on when they want to do it. They can make it about 37 laps on fuel, which kind of opens the fuel window to anywhere from 37 to go on, and depending on how long these drivers can stretch those fuel tanks. They have about another 30 laps until they might need to pit. And the last time these drivers came down pit road was about 9 laps ago, so it could be a little bit sketchy coming to the checkered flag with that fuel. 37 laps in a 77 lap stage, and I believe we went green some odd about maybe 5 laps ago, so it's going to be a stretch for those fuel tanks.
And you know, it definitely comes in a factor with your strategy, and so you really got to think what you want to do, and you really want to make sure if you're going to pit, you make it right. And so you don't want to get lost behind and all the way in the back of the pack, because you never know. Depending on when you pit, you may not have enough time to catch right back up to where you are and where you felt comfortable. So these drivers really have to be on point right now as when they want to pit, and if they pit in the next coming laps or any of that, but it's all mind games from here on out.
There's a field paces behind the iRacing.com pace car. It's Lothian in front, Richards in second, Peacock, Cinnamon, and Bradley round out your current top 5 out there on the track. We'll see where all of them are running currently on the track and all of their best lap times so far of the event, as we have about 2 to go before we retake that green flag and get back going here, and the field will double up next time by. Biggest mover of the race so far, the 18 machine, Joey Doucette in the 16. Great night so far for the number 16 machine, Jordan, and obviously going to start looking for more, because being up that many spots, and we know he's not done.
You know, definitely is. If he's made it up there that fast, he's like you said, he's definitely got more, and he's definitely had a run this whole race. He's up to the top of the pack with all these guys, and I'm curious to see if he can possibly make it to the top 3 and possibly in victory lane after this 65 laps.
We'll be going green with about 63 to go before that checkered flag will fly. And it's all Blake Lothian out at the front of this field, looking for a great start to the season. Lights will go out this time by on the iRacing.com pace car, and we'll be set and ready to go once again here from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. One driver who had a good start to this race. The 46 of Dale Adamson, Jordan, now all the way down to the 15th spot. Not the best nights, not the best continuation of the night for the 46 as he's running so far down.
You know, definitely is. So he's possibly going to want to try and get a little higher up in that pack. And so all I'm going to say is for the season opener of this series, 15th isn't too bad. It could be worse. And so the only thing that matters is at least he's on that track still, and he's on all 4 Goodyear tires. And so he's having a pretty solid night sitting up there in 15th, a nice sit back, relax sort of night. But I definitely feel like he could do a little bit better, and you never know, he could make up some spots when we go green here in a few minutes.
And I will say, Jordan, I think both of us are really enjoying that son of a digger Monster Jam truck paint scheme he's got on. That is one slick looking NASCAR truck.
You know, definitely we get to see that thing next weekend, and so it's going to be pretty cool seeing it finally back after about a year.
We get ready to go back to the green flag. Luckily, we don't have to wait a year for this green flag right here. Blake Lothian will lead the field to the green flag. It'll be Robert Richards in second place to his outside. And we will see who's going to walk away with the lead off of this start. Thinking it is going to be a shoo-in for Blake Lothian out the front of the field as he has been so dominant so far tonight. And the 59, it's the loud pedal. We are back underway from the virtual Texas.
You can see a great restart for the 59 of Blake Lothian heading into 1 and 2. Seems pretty solid, but everyone's still behind him, so he's really, if he wants to take this win, he's got to make a move. And Josh, he's already running away with that lead, so I'm interested to see how long he holds it.
Peacock going to be in second place, going to try and fight for that lead from about 3/10 back from second place. And you can hear full throttle through turns 3 and 4 on fresh-ish tires. And they need to let up just a tiny bit for the first corner. We go on board. You can see the speed, the RPM that Taylor Peacock has on that car. So you look out the windshield as well. Exactly what he is seeing in that in-cab. Lets off a little bit. Dirty air coming off of the truck in front of him. Jordan is going to get that truck just a little bit upset and a little bit more understeer.
And, you know, definitely, it seems like he's keeping that truck under control really well, and he's slowly making up ground on the 59, so maybe we're going to get a pass, but he seems to be running to the higher part of the track, and so that's not going to help him as the 59 is running away from him.
And here comes the 48 of Robert Richards now to join the fray. Look at Chris Cinnamon there in the 3 trying to work his way up the field. Look at Keith Bradley. He's now stuck back on the outside. Stephen Thomas to the bottom looking for 5th place, and he'll be able to take it. A huge gaggle of about 5 cars right now that are all fighting for that 3rd spot. Sorry, for that 2nd spot as Peacock leads the way. They might be catching Lothian in a proper good amount of time. Here comes Cinnamon to the bottom of the 48. Cinnamon won't get close enough. Is he going to be able to get close enough now as they work their way through turns 3 and 4? Richards closing in on Peacock as well. Don't count out the 48. Inside 60 to go now. 59 laps remaining. Roaring back down the back straightaway will be Richards, taking that spot away from Peacock. But back down the inside, here comes Stephen Thomas now to go by Peacock. Stuck on the outside once again is the 81. Jordan, it does look like a lot of these drivers more comfortable on that bottom line, especially in turns 3 and 4. It can be used. We've seen it be used by a handful of drivers tonight, but you need to be able to run up there, and it looks like a handful of these drivers, their setups are just not equipped for it.
You know, definitely a lot of those cars can sort of get loose when you sort of run up to the top, and it's mainly nerves sometimes. Your car may just give out, depending on your setup, like you mentioned, and you may just run into the wall, so you can see them exiting from the bottom and going straight to the top and down to the bottom again. And so they seem pretty comfortable, and it took a little bit, like we were talking, but you can see the 23 trying to use that inside line to his advantage, but the 48 in front of him is just blocking him and not letting him do so.
18 back to the bottom, looking for the spot on Taylor Peacock. Battle for fourth. There goes Stephen Thomas to the bottom of Robert Richards through the corner. Richards going to be able to take or keep that second spot. Stephen Thomas trying to take it away. You're on board at the front of the 23. So 56 to go, Jordan. We know we still have a pit stop on the horizon. We're going to see cars starting to come down pit road relatively soon, as pretty much since the driver's coming down pit lane, we're at about 20 laps, so they can make it about another 17. We can expect to see cars down the pit lane roughly at about 38 to go. Which means that we are also going to see a bit of a fuel mileage race, because they might need to pit or be forced to pit before they're good to the end on fuel. If we see a green flag run all the way to the end of this race, it is going to become a fuel mileage game and who can save enough.
And you know, those races are always fun to watch, and just to see who can save the most fuel and come out on top at the end of the race. So if that happens here tonight, I'm all in for it, and it just makes for some more entertainment for you guys here on Racecraft TV.
Back to the bottom goes Thomas into the corner. Battling with Robert Richards as they roar off of turn number 4. Thomas on the inside. Fighting for the second spot right now. They almost door bang, heading down into 1. Thomas going to roll the bottom. He'll take that spot away. The 48er Richards now going to fall to 3rd. Richards going to try and retaliate to the bottom. Here comes the 48. The 23 throws a block. A fantastic move from Stephen Thomas to throw that block into 3. That'll keep Richards in 3rd. A fantastic block thrown from the 23 of Thomas. Richards now going to fall to 3rd. Still a great run from the 48 nonetheless, if he can hold on to this. But look at the lead. Blake Lothian about a second separating himself from the rest of the field right now, Jordan. Picture perfect night for him so far if he can hold on.
You know, definitely he's going to try and go for 3 here tonight, as we witnessed him take home the previous 2 stages, and so he seems pretty solid and pretty comfortable as of right now. He's just got to make it to the end, and hopefully that fuel or tire nightmare, I'll say, doesn't affect him, and he can come out on top with a nice clean 59 race car.
They work their way back through turns 3 and 4. Lothian hoping to hold on. Stephen Thomas in 2nd. Richards in 3rd. Keith Bradley 4th. Taylor Peacock rounds out your top 5. Chris Cinnamon in 6th. Thrall Meza, Joey Doucette, and Jesse Schrage rounding out your top 9. Logan Quinn rounds out your top 10. But we'll join here battle for 7th place between Duquette and Meza. Actually, a little bit more of a battle further up. Chris Cinnamon and Taylor Peacock, 2 veterans of this series. Peacock with a huge dive to the bottom. And Peacock is going to take that spot. Great move for the number 3 machine up to 5th. Oh, here comes Mesa back to the bottom. Great move for the number 93, capitalizing on Peacock losing a bit of momentum. Right around he goes. Fantastic move for Meza in the 93. He moves up to 6th. Now going to set his eyes up the road on Chris Cinnamon. 2/10 separate the 2. You can hear how much Meza having to get out of the gas now. Meza actually on a different strategy than the rest of the field as he moves to the inside of Cinnamon to look for the 4th spot. He will take it heading into 3. But like I was mentioning, Jordan, he's on a different strategy. He pitted 18 laps ago, along with Adam Newbert and Dana Shepard also on this same strategy. Joe Nelson is on this strategy. And it looks like Dane Hagen, Eric Zimmerman, Dustin Scruggs all on this strategy. But those guys are a handful of number of laps down. But the drivers in the lead lap, a handful of them pitted only about 19 laps ago. So that means they can stretch this fuel run for another about 18 laps. And when they pit, they'll be good to the end on fuel. They won't have to worry about the fuel mileage game. But at that point, their tires are going to be at a completely different pace for roughly about, I'd say, 8 laps separating the remaining of the field. That could mean they lose so much time they can't use it back up later.
Definitely. So it seems as of right now their strategy is working, but like you just mentioned, time is key here in the race with the final 46 to go, 45 to go at the line. But your main thing is you need time if you're going to pit. And so if it was me, I would pit somewhere around now so I have at least a comfortable amount of time to make my way back up into a comfortable position here within the next few, 45 to go.
So with 45 to go, everybody now just trying to continue to fight their way through this field. As we still take a look at Raul Meza coming alive in that number 93, and he's coming alive because he has a 9-lap difference on his tires. That 9-lap pit stop difference is relatively big in the grand scheme of things, especially considering, Jordan, everybody else's tires, including your race leader, Stephen Thomas, in the 23 we're taking a look at now, are on 31-lap-old tires. Meza is on 22-lap-old tires. It's not that much of a difference between 9 laps and 1 lap, but it's a huge difference between 31 laps and 22 laps.
Definitely, and I'm pretty sure you can actually feel it in the wheel depending on wherever your tire state is. And so I feel like the 93 is a little more comfortable than everybody else as of right now, but in the long run, it may affect him because those tires could just send him up to the top part of the track and he could lose position.
Taylor Peacock reaching up to Cinnamon, reaching up to Meza, Joey Duquette to the bottom, looking for the spot on Peacock. And that is exactly what he's going to take. Now Duquette will set his eyes on Cinnamon up the road. Not going to be close enough just yet to be able to make anything happen for that spot. 42 to go. We're looking at about 5 to 4 laps before we see the majority of the field come down into the pit lane. Just waiting on those green flag pit stops to start their way on. Chris Cinnamon going to try and make a move on Meza. Meza on 9-lap fresher tires than Chris Cinnamon. That 3 car must have been taking care of those tires, as he looks to have at least a slight advantage over Meza on the bottom. So around goes Cinnamon for 4th. Meza falls to 5th. Duquette in 6th. Here comes Meza back to the bottom on Cinnamon. Cinnamon closes the door there in turn number 3. A great move from the number 3 driver. Limitless Esports on the car. Looking to continue his great seasons that he has had in the past here in the NASRA Truck Series. But out in front, still Stephen Thomas. We're about 2 laps away now from pit stops, or right now. We're not multiple laps away from pit stops. Pit stops are starting right now. Stephen Thomas is in the number 23. So we begin with pit stops. Stephen Thomas into his box. It looks to be a normal 4-tire stop for Stephen Thomas. He'll get back on the track. Robert Richards not electing to pit yet. He's at about the tail end of his fuel window. Bradley stays out. To be fair, everybody except for Stephen Thomas staying out. Looked like he was the black sheep there. Logan Quinn actually came in as well. Quinn came in. Nobody else electing to come down into pit road yet. Richard's still staying out on the racetrack. We'll have 37 to go this time. First time Robert Richards able to lead for an extended period of time tonight. The number 48 has had a really good night so far. No other takers down into the pit lane yet. We know Raul Meza doesn't need to pit for a handful of laps more. It's still surprising to see him stay out for this long. Blake Lothian. I want to highlight his pit strategy here for a moment, Jordan, because his last time down pit road was on lap number 101, which was 11 laps ago. That was a bit of a weird pit strategy because it wasn't under caution, it wasn't under green. He is 1 lap down right now. But I think the thing that really hurt him the most was being 1 lap down, but also now he's on a completely different pit strategy, and he didn't even pit at a time where he'd be good to the end on fuel. A very weird strategy from the 59. We'll see if it plays out.
You know, definitely, and you can see, like you said, he's already a lap down. He's trying to make his lap back up, I believe, as he's passing the 48. But like you mentioned, is very, very weird time for that pit stop, as he's going to have to pit one more time, and that could even throw him even more laps down. So not too sure what's going on with that 59 machine, but hopefully you can make him to the end, but you really never know.
So Lothian will run from 9th. And a handful of other drivers now coming down into the pit lane. Richards is in. Bradley is in. We'll see who else is going to be coming in here. Bradley, Duquette. Looks like Chris Cinnamon came in. He's on his way out of the pit lane now. Taylor Peacock, same story for him. Jesse Schrage, Cody Knott. Meza still leads, and Meza still has roughly about 5 laps until he reaches the point that he might need to pit. A handful of drivers are now good to the end, but also a handful of drivers currently are not. And we'll give you a list of drivers that are just a little bit worried. Mainly talking about drivers that pitted under this last pit cycle. I'd say Stephen Thomas might be a little bit worried, but we saw drivers carrying their fuel tanks to roughly about 39 to 40 laps, so I think he might be good to the end. There's a handful of drivers that are on an off pit strategy that are still kind of biting their nails, Jordan, wondering if they'll be good to the end, which I don't think a lot of them will be. I think everybody pitting under this green flag pit stops will be. Now comes the time for Raul Meza, Adam Newbert, Dan Shepard, Joe Nelson, and Dale Adamson. Where the handful of them, Adamson and Nelson back on the lead lap, but Shepard, Newbert, and Meza have been on the lead lap. They're now trying to show that their alternate pit strategy was the right one, but they need to pit. Most importantly, they need to hold their lead, but Stephen Thomas, the provisional leader, is in front of the 93. You can see him up the road there. And most importantly, he is not 1 lap down. So Meza's not going to be able to get the lead off of this. Question is, how much is that difference in time going to be? Because Jordan, if he does, when he does come into the pit lane, Thomas is going to be able to get right back by him, but Meza might not lose as many positions as he might have if he pitted during that last green flag stop.
You know, definitely. So if he wants to pit and make it fast now, I would definitely do it as fast as possible, as I'm expecting him to come down within the next few laps, because I would really think it'd be smart so he can actually have some time coming to the end, and here he comes down to the pit lane.
A little bit early, 36 laps on the stint for Meza as he comes in. Now where will your provisional race leader, not Dale Adamson, Stephen Thomas in the 23 is going to come out with 29 to go. He is going to get by Meza. Newbert and Shepard stay on the track. But right on around Raul Meza goes Stephen Thomas. So he now holds your provisional lead. as Lothian still needs to pit, but he still has about 17 laps until he needs to pit. So we're going to see Blake Lothian out in front for a handful of laps, but Stephen Thomas, about 2 seconds back, is closing in fast on fresher tires. Only about 9-lap fresher tires, but still fresher tires nonetheless. Dan Shepard leads the way in the 43. We haven't talked about him too much tonight, but Dana Shepard leads the way here. And down in the pit lane they go. And Adam Newbert came in as well. So that leaves Blake Lothian now, the lone car out at the front of the field. And like we mentioned, Stephen Thomas really starting to work him in, but it's the 59 out in front with 28 to go. Off turn number 2, back to the back straightaway for Lothian. About a 1 second gap between himself and Stephen Thomas. We'll go on board as Thomas tries to reel in Lothian. 9-lap fresher tires on the number 23. Looking to take the lead right on back from Blake Lothian. Quickly closing in is Stephen Thomas to that race lead. Battle after the green flag pit stops. 26 of Cody Knott in the 12 of Jesse Schrage. Teammates battling. Both drivers from Pulse Poppers Racing. You're on board with the 12. Down the back straightaway, a good run for Schrage tonight in 10th, up 2 spots from where he started the night. Looking for more is Logan Quinn also going to be peering out the back end, and it looks like Cody Knott with a bit of connection issues, blinking in and out of the server. Schrage going to try and close in, not going to be able to do so. Chris Cinnamon's in a battle with Keith Bradley, battle for 4th. Here peering out the back of the number 18. Keith Bradley, Chris Cinnamon, Stephen Thomas, all veterans of this series and coming back for another season here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Great to see them all back in this series along with a lot of the new faces here tonight. Lothian and Thomas now battling for the race lead. Lothian pitted 26 laps ago. Stephen Thomas pitted 17 laps ago. Neither of them have immensely fresh tires, but you can see the difference as the 23 is going to bump the 59 out of the way. Lothian saves it through the grass. Still side by side, but around the outside goes Thomas. Not able to make it stick. Here comes the number 59 back on the inside. Side by side, down the back straightaway. Thomas is going to take the lead. Right back out in front after the green flag pit stops is Stephen Thomas in the 23. 20 to go at the line, and he is back out in front in the number 23, trying to get the win for Powerhouse Motorsports. And now the 59 going to get split by, I believe, 2 lapped machines. Yes, they are. Next driver on the track is Robert Richards. Ooh, Keith Bradley with a bit of an issue. Actually, that was a lap machine in between Keith Bradley and Robert Richards. But Bradley's still in a battle with Cinnamon with 20 to go. It'll be 19 at the line. Continuing on here in tonight's race, round number 1 here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Bradley and Cinnamon continue their fight. They go back to the back straightaway. Cinnamon looking for that spot here. And Cinnamon going to be falling back a little bit now. Bradley going to hold on to 4th. Drivers starting to spread their way out. A handful of drivers still running relatively close together, but majority of the field now starting to spread out. How about a highlight for, unfortunately, a damaged number 95, Bill Lester, out here on the track tonight. The BP Racing for Autism number 95. And if you do recognize the name Bill Lester, former NASCAR race car driver as well, behind the wheel of this car here in the number 95 on iRacing. Back up to the front, Stephen Thomas continues to lead the way. Now a second separating himself from Blake Lothian. Bit of a gap between Lothian and Richards, though, as Richards runs from 3rd. Bradley and Cinnamon continue their fight. We'll go back on board with Cinnamon as he tries to close in on the 18. Inside now, 15 to go here in tonight's NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. First round of the campaign from the Texas Motor Speedway. And continuing on, a great race here tonight. The 23 at Thomas getting passed by a handful of lap machines who are on a bit of fresher tires. Lothian's going to need to pit here in the next handful of laps. He's on a stint of 34 laps on not only these tires, but that fuel tank. So he's going to need to come down for a quick splash of fuel. Now he might be able to get away with just a splash of fuel, but then he's not taking tires. And Jordan, if you take 4 tires, it's going to take the same amount of time to put 2 cans of fuel in the car as it is to take 4 tires. So these drivers don't normally are going to take 2 cans of fuel with a 2-tire stop, or take a splash of fuel with a 4-tire stop. So we're expecting a 4-tire, 2-can of Sunoco fuel stop for the 59, and here he comes down in the pit lane.
And like you were saying, he's got to really try and make it quick because, you know, he's only got 13 to go, coming to 12 to go, and so he doesn't have the most amount of time, Josh. As if he were to go a lap down right now, I can't see him coming back a lap up to the lead lap. And so whatever he's doing here, he's got to make it quick so he can get back out on that racetrack.
Into his pit stall, second pit stall, as he started 2nd place on the day. Or qualified 2nd place, I should say. He did just take a splash of fuel, so he did not take tires. He is going to be on immensely worn tires because now his tires are at about 37 laps. He'll be ending the race on a roughly about 50 lap old tires. Jordan, I don't think this is going to pay out for him. He's already 1 lap down. He's going to lose even more spots from here.
You know, definitely 50 laps of old tires is not the way you want to go, especially at Texas, because you never really know what could happen. Those turns are different than each other, and he's going to lose a lot of ground, and a lot of these cars are just going to power on right by him, and he possibly may even go multiple laps down further than he already is.
So Lothian will now be scored 13th, back 1 lap down. And everybody with lap machines as well they're dealing with, spreading out the racetrack. 10 to go, however. From the virtual Texas Motor Speedway, Stephen Thomas leads the way in the 23. A great night to start the season for Thomas. And we talk about a great night, Jordan. I mean, Lothian swept the first 2 stages, but Stephen Thomas did not take the green flag, started from the pit lane, and is now leading the way. He got up to the front immensely quickly and is now going to be looking for a race win with 9 to go as he marks his way through the lap traffic.
You know, definitely a really solid night, like you were saying, and so all he's got to do is hold off the rest of these people for the next 9 laps to go, coming down to 8 laps to go here at the line. And so, yeah, pretty much all he's got to do is keep it nice and clean for the next 8 laps, and he's good to the end.
8 to go now as he works his way through turns 1 and 2. Look at Robert Richards, though. He is closing in. Now, the difference in tires is only about 5 laps between Thomas and Richards. But Jordan, 5 laps from just getting them freshly put on to 5-lap-old tires is not a lot. They're on 32-lap-old tires and 27-lap-old tires. Richards is going to be feeling at least a little bit more confident than Thomas is, and he's starting to close that gap in.
You know, definitely is. I would say the more traction you can get here at Texas definitely makes you feel a lot more confident as he goes for the pass on the inside. And I don't know, it just feels more relaxing when you can sort of just sit there and not really worry about your car spinning out on you. And so that's why he's got some old tires on there, but he doesn't have the oldest tires that would cause you to completely turn your Truck Series truck.
Oldest tires on the field are your race leader, the 23 of Stephen Thomas. Putting a little bit more of a gap on Richards now as they'll come across the line for 5 to go. Stephen Thomas out in front. 5-lap tire difference between himself and Robert Richards in second place. But as they come across the line for 5 to go, Thomas keeps putting more and more lapped traffic back for that 48 to deal with. That is not going to help the 48 of Robert Richards. He has Raul Meza. He has the 46 of Dale Adamson in between him as well. And there's the orange number 48. Oh, Thomas gets forced out of the apron. Thomas has to pit. He is out of fuel. The 23 of Stephen Thomas into the pit lane. He cannot make it to the end. Gurnu leaders the 48 of Robert Richards with a 4-second difference in between himself and Keith Bradley. An unbelievable development in this race. The 48 of Richards is going to take the lead with 4 to go. Jordan, we were wondering if he had enough to make it to the end. Well, there is our answer.
You know, definitely, and that's not what you want, as I'm pretty sure, Josh, that just cost him the win.
It did.
But, you know, an unfortunate night to end it for the 23, as he's going to go a lap down, I'm pretty sure, and he's not going to be able to get that win, as he had a really good night coming down to the end, but the car wasn't on his side at all tonight, and here he is. The fuel got to him, and he had to go down to the pit lane.
Across the line comes the 48 of Robert Richards, who takes the lead off of that. 2 to go. This has got to feel good for the 48. He has been up in front all night, Jordan. Really did not miss a beat at the front of the field. He was always in the conversation, and now is going to go from qualifying 10th to the front of the field, and is now just 1 more lap away from this victory.
And you know, it definitely feels good, I can tell, because when you stay up at the top of the pack like that the whole entire race, you just sort of, you feel really good about yourself. And so the 48, he definitely got to feel really good about himself, because he ran a great race, kept up with everybody, and it looks like he's going to come down to victory lane here at Texas to start out the season.
White flag as they come down the back straightaway for the final time. It's a 4-second difference in between himself and Keith Bradley. And across the line For the number 48, it is Robert Richards taking the first victory of the season in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. A fantastic run for the number 48. He is your race winner. And what a way to start the season for Robert Richards in the 48. An unbelievable race for the 48. Green flag all the way through that last stage. Did not help Stephen Thomas. Thomas ends up in 10th, one lap down, but he won't end up in victory lane. It's Robert Richards taking the win and is looking to burn it down here on the front straightaway at the Texas Motor Speedway. A great race win for the 48 of Robert Richards. Let's take a look at your full race results here on Racecraft TV as the 48 burns it down on the front straightaway. It is Robert Richards taking the win for Mission 1 Esports. Keith Bradley in second, Chris Cinnamon in third, Joey Duquette in fourth, with Jesse Schrage rounding out your top five. Cody Knott in sixth, Dana Shepard in seventh, Dale Adamson in eighth, Raul Meza in ninth, Stephen Thomas rounds out your top 10. Blake Lothian in 11th, Joe Nelson in 12th, Taylor Peacock 13th, Brandon Bullock in 14th, Logan Quinn in 15th, Dane Hagen in 16th, Steve Williams in 17th, Mikey Williams in 18th, Eric Zimmerman in 19th, Bill Lester comes home in that 20th spot. 21st, it is Clint Mata. 22nd, Dustin Scruggs. 23rd, Adam Newbert. 24th, Curtis Heading. Coming home 25th, it was Bob Williams in the 06. The 40 of George Williams comes home 26th. The Mike Adamson in 27th. Jonathan Munda 28th. Jason Higginbotham 29th. Brady LaBeouf, unfortunately, not able to start tonight's race. Will round out the 30 cars that we had signed up for tonight. What a win for the number 48 of Robert Richards. He'll burn it down with Keith Bradley and the number 18 on the front straightaway. We'll bring him up now here at the end of this race as we enter the post-race show. Joining us now in the booth, the 48 of Robert Richards. Robert, what a race. Talk about, first of all, just that start of the race, because you were always up in the running for the lead throughout stage 1 and 2, and you just bought your time and was able to get it done at the end.
Yes, sir, man. Qualifying obviously ain't my strong suit, so I'll just drive it through the field to get to the front. Coming, stage 1, I know we were running low on fuel. I knew it was gonna be close, but once the stage ended, I just shut her off. And I think Steven, I believe he ran out and forced him to go to the back, coasting down pit road. And so I learned from that mistake and waited it out as long as I could for the end of the race before I pitted on our last stop. And they ran out and we had enough.
And obviously the fuel mileage came into play with Stephen Thomas. Did you know that he was going to have those fuel mileage issues, and were you just waiting in second place for your opportunity to come, or was it a bit of a shock for you?
Well, I knew Blake. I knew he pitted too early. And then Steven went a little bit after him, and I still hadn't got to clear on the fuel thing and saying that we could make it to the end. So I figured he was running harder than I was to catch Blake. And he pitted too soon too, and then I finally got the okay to go down pit road, and it was on from there. I was just waiting for him to have to go pit. I knew he was saving as much as he could, but it just wasn't enough.
And heading into the next race of the season, we're leaving the virtual Texas Motor Speedway, and then in 1 week's time we'll be at the Michigan International Speedway. You're confident you can go 2 in a row to start the season?
Let's hope so, man. I've been doing a lot of practice during the off season. Just running with these guys. This whole season we've been kind of here and there having a couple race sessions, but all the guys here, man, I enjoy running with them. Want to thank Keith, teammate, Mission 1 Esports. Michael wasn't able to make it, nor Brady. I want to thank them. They were helping out as much as they could. I want to thank you guys at Racecraft. Y'all do a great job as always. I mean, glad to have y'all back on board as well.
Thank you very much. That is your race winner, Robert Richards, in the number 48. A great start to the season for him. And we will go right over to the number 18, Keith Bradley, finishing second place. Keith, it wasn't enough tonight, but still a great building block, up 10 spots from where you originally started the night. Fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
And of course, throughout that entire race, it was a bit of a hard-fought battle. You were battling for, seemed like, about 5th, and battling for a top 5 throughout pretty much the entire night. What changed to get you up into second place at the end?
I think the pit strategy really played in mine and Robbie's hands. We waited a little bit later till after the leaders went, and I wouldn't really say conserved our stuff because we chased them all down. I mean, strategy racing. I mean, that shows that it worked tonight.
And of course, next week heading to Michigan International Raceway. How confident are you can go get another top 3, get another second place, or maybe walk away with a win?
I mean, pretty confident. I about won there last year, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of new guys in here, a lot of new faces, so it's still learning the trust of the new guys. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think we'll have a really fast truck, though.
Thank you very much for joining us here in the booth, and congratulations on your second place.
Thank you.
That was Keith Bradley, second place finisher here from the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. We'll switch gears. Final post-race interview, and your final podium finisher is the number 3 of Chris Cinnamon. Cinnamon, great run for you tonight. How did it feel to get that number 3 Limitless Esports car up into the top of the standings and come home with a 3rd place?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm just glad to be back here, back racing season 3 or 4 here, and that was exciting.
And it was a hard-fought battle, too. It seemed like a lot like Keith Bradley. We mentioned it with him. You guys were just kind of battling for roughly about 5th place for the entire night. What changed in the hood of that number 3 car? Did it start responding better as the runs went on?
We were talking about that. Stage 2, I was actually better with my truck. It was a little more on the free side. Stage 3, the last set of tires there just tightened right up. And yeah, Keith was gone after that. I had nothing for him.
And, of course, heading to Michigan International Raceway in 1 week time. How are you feeling about that track heading into there and maybe trying to walk away with your first race win of the season?
I wish, but I'm actually going on vacation for 2 weeks, unfortunately. So I'm going to have a 2-week break, and I'll be back hoping to get some wins after that.
Well, enjoy your break, and we'll see you when you come back. Congratulations on your 3rd place.
Thank you very much. Shout out to my team, Esports, and Over the Top Designs, and or Limitless Esports and Over the Top Design.
Congratulations on your 3rd place. Thank you for joining us here in the booth. That is Chris Cinnamon in the 3. Great to hear from him. And that will conclude our post-race show here on Racecraft TV. Jordan, a great night of racing here from the virtual Texas, and it's definitely not done. We'll be coming back in 1 week's time from Michigan. What are you expecting? Because we're going from a 1.5-mile racetrack to a very large 2-mile racetrack.
You know, it's definitely going to be interesting because we had a great race here tonight for the season opener, and I'm excited for Michigan. It's a little closer to home to me, so it's going to be a fun one.
And we hope to see you in 1 week's time from the